Well, good morning everybody. Danny and Wanda back from Pecan Grove here. We was down in the garden this morning and I told Wanda, I said, you know, today is the day we need to start working with these jungle peanuts. I'm trying to get them ready. And they got a few little weeds in them. I'm trying to get some of that out of there. But not a big deal. A lot of y'all have requested, what do I do with my jungle peanuts or any peanuts? It doesn't have to be jungle. Just any of my peanuts, because I mentioned about putting dirt on them, and they're blooming good, so they're ready to start making peanuts. So I just take the shovel, I just scoop me up some dirt right there out of where I'm at, and this is one of the plants the sweet potatoes are growing over here in them. The limbs have already laid down on lots of these because I plant them close together. But lay them down and just take a thing of dirt, put right up in the middle of it like that right there. And guys, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down through here, just out of the middle of the road where you're going to be walking, get you some soil. And all these peanuts, there's another plant right there. We're just going to put it right in the middle of it. And kind of make these branches reach the ground. Because you're not going to have any peanuts. If all your branches are sticking up in the air like this, you're only going to have a few peanuts right at the bottom. You want to lay them branches down so that peanuts form all along those branches. Now here's one here that's a prime example of how one is sticking straight up in the air. So we're going to take it, I'm just going to lay them down. Now you see these right here? See that right there? That's where your peanuts is going to form. You want that to be down at the soil. That's why we're laying these plants down like we are. Now we've got the limbs pushed down on this one, all as low to the ground as we can get here. We're going to take this soil, get some of these weeds up out of there, and we're going to drop it right in the middle of it. I just take my hands and spread it around. It's not going to hurt. This new ground this year, we didn't get a chance to do anything with it. And I'm going to tell you what, we got weeds galore this year. But that's what it's all about.
Come on, that one.
This one right here, we'll stick a little bit more soil on this one here so that the peanuts are actually touching some soil. That's basically what we're doing here. We're not, you know, we're not doing anything fancy. Just.
Do you need to water them?
No, you don't have to water them. Just throw that dirt on there, mash those peanuts down. Like that right there. Now, you can, if your soil is very deficient, you can come back and sprinkle a little bit of lime right in the top of it. I mean just a little bit, not much. Just take some little pelletized lime and kind of like sprinkle it down in top of it. And they'll actually do better. But our soil's fine right now. I limed all this before I did it. Now I got the daunting task of going down through the peanuts here and pulling up the weeds and mashing them down and putting them out before these sweet potato vines here take over everything, because they're going to pretty much take over here for long. And I want to make sure I got my peanuts touching the ground before I do. And we have these stickers here. This property, when we bought it, these things infest this property, so we're having to fight with that also. Now once you do this, you don't have to water them. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. If it rains, that's perfectly fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Biggest issue is you don't want to wash. You don't want to wash the soil away from the middle that you just put on there. Now the next question people's probably going to ask is, well, how do I know when to harvest them? I wait on my peanuts until the vines begin to start, not necessarily going all the way dying, but they'll start beginning to turn a yellow look to them. And I'll pull one of the limbs up on it and see at what stage the peanuts is at on one of the limbs that's on it. Or should I say not limbs, branches maybe on it. And if it looks like the peanuts are filled out, I'll go ahead and dig my peanuts. But if they're not filled out and they're still in that kind of like a mushy stage, then I'll just leave them. Now you're going to have a few mushy ones on the plant anyway, so don't panic if you have some mushy ones and you have some filled out ones. You're going to have both of them, so don't freak out about that. It's just like picking watermelons or cantaloupes or anything else. It's a learning experience. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Now, these peanuts here are jungle peanuts. These do not carry the alpha toxin poison that your normal peanuts are bombarded with. These are basically, I guess what you call might be immune to that. That's why we plant them, is because we try to stay away from the alpha toxin poison that peanuts can carry. It's a yellow fungus that gets on the peanuts. Can I can peanuts? The answer is absolutely yes. Gosh, I'm gonna say it's probably been close to 4 years ago now, maybe 5. We'll have hopefully Wanda can put a video up in the cards up here for you. We have a video of canning the Virginia Fancies that we planted. We boiled them and we put them in jars, quart jars, as boiled peanuts. And we are just about to run out after 4 years. We had a bumper crop. And I told her, I said, well, let's go ahead and replant a few peanuts this year, mainly for seed this year, because we still have a few of the other peanuts left, because we're about to run out of jungle peanut seeds. And maybe can a few just to have, maybe eat a few for roasting or, stuff like that, because I like peanuts and I want to try to eat the healthiest peanut that we can get. Now, let me tell you this, if you buy peanuts along with strawberries and pineapples and several other fruits are among the heaviest sprayed foods out there on the market. So be cautious. We don't go to the fields where they're harvesting peanuts at and try to buy the peanuts from them there when they harvest them, because I've been pretty familiar with the process and I know how much poison they spray on them and how many fungicides they spray on them to keep stuff from eating them up. Now, this is new ground. I don't know how it's going to go in new ground. Sometimes the wood lice will get to your peanuts. Sometimes you have other insects under the soil in new ground. I have no clue how it's going to go this year. This is a learning experience on this new piece of property that we've bought. We'll know after this year, and we'll know whether we want to plant them in raised beds or we want to plant them in the new ground. Thank you guys from Pecan Grove.
These are the peanuts that we canned, and Danny and I were a little off in our timing. Y'all, we canned these in August of 15. Yeah, and you can see we waxed the tops. That was recommended at the time. And we opened some of these just a month or so ago, and they were still good. So those are 9 years old, guys. We did some in pints, some in quarts, and you can see, oh my goodness, 9 years, and they're still good. I thought I would add the canned boiled peanuts, the recipe here. So get your pen and paper, write this down, how to can boiled peanuts. All right, you only want to can green peanuts. The ones you've grown and just pulled up, you can let them rest or cure for a week, but you want them to be fresh out of the ground within a week period. You wash them under running water, clean them as well as you can, then you soak them in some fresh water for 1 hour. Discard that water, soak them again for another hour, discard that water, and soak them for a 3rd hour in fresh water. Now, to get ready to can, you want to parboil the peanuts, which means you don't bring it to a rolling boil, but you get it right up to it and just let them go for about 10 to 15 minutes, and you keep them hot. You want to go ahead and combine 1 cup of pickling salt to 1 gallon of water, according to how many peanuts you have. You can this is for any amount of peanuts. You just keep adding 1 gallon of water and 1 cup of salt if you had 5 gallons of peanuts, enough to cover all the peanuts that you have. So you have your parboiled peanuts on 1 burner, keeping them hot. You have your water, your fresh water with your salt in it on another burner. When you get ready, you go ahead and process your jars. You want your jars hot, and you want to put hot peanuts in the jars, and then you want to put the hot salt water in on top. So you drain the parboiled peanuts, and while they're hot, ladle them into your jars. We used quart jars. Any size jar that you want, quart or pint would work. Then when you get the hot peanuts in there, you cover it to a 1/2 inch from the top with the boiling brine or the salt water. Make sure you clean the rims really well, then install the flats and the rings. You process the pints for 45 minutes and the quarts for 50 minutes. And where we're at, 10 pounds of pressure. If you're in a higher altitude, you would have to do 15 pounds. But 10 pounds pressure is normal. Process pints 45 minutes at 10 pounds per pressure in a pressure canner. The quarts 50 minutes at 10 pounds in a pressure canner. Now, I don't know about water bath canning. I'm not going to tell you that, because if you did, it would take several hours. You would put them in there, and I know the old people used to do it many years ago, but it would take hours, and I'm not sure how safe that is. So I don't recommend the water bath method. I would recommend that you pressure can. We've kept these at least 5 years in jars, and they're still as good as the day we put them in. And you have boiled peanuts. If you like Cajun peanuts or spiced peanuts or whatever you like your boiled peanuts to taste like, you can add your spices in when you do your brine.